Today we're with David Black. David Black is a criminal attorney in Phoenix, Arizona. He's agreed to answer some questions today related to DUI. These are actually some specific questions posted on the internet. For those of you who posted a question, obviously you're going to get your answer right away. For those of you just watching the video, if you have been charged with the DUI, especially in the Phoenix area, feel free to reach out to David. Also, he's agreed to answer any direct questions at the bottom of the comments section of this YouTube video. So if you have a question for him, all you have to do is simply post your question down there, and hopefully within the next 24 to 48 hours, he can get back to you with an answer. Obviously, you can also reach out to him directly. With that said, David, I want to go ahead and go with our first question that was posted for you. Will I need to go to trial for a DUI?
Ryan, that's a good question, and it's not an uncommon question. In criminal cases, trials are actually quite rare. What I would say is that trials in DUI cases are a little bit more common than a standard case, and that's simply because prosecution is typically tougher for DUIs, and they really don't negotiate as much. So we do more trials with DUIs than any other case. Still, we're looking at 10% or less. And ultimately, the decision to go to trial is always up to the client. We can advise whether or not we think a deal is good. Obviously, if we get a dismissal before trial, that's best. But the decision to go to trial or not is often, actually it's always, a decision made by the client, not by us. So that's something that after doing investigation for months and months, negotiating with the prosecutor, and realizing that, frankly, there's no benefit to the bargain, we might decide to go ahead and do a trial. But you don't have to be afraid. Some people hire me and they're afraid I'm going to walk them into trial. I might advise a trial, but I've never had anybody do one that doesn't want to do one.
Okay, all right, makes total sense. Next question for you was, how are my DUI charges any different since I had a minor in the car with me?
Ryan, that's a good question. In order for it to make a difference, there would have to be a minor 15 years or younger in your vehicle when you get a DUI. That would actually make it a felony DUI, an aggravated DUI. There's two types of aggravated DUIs. One's a Class 4 felony, one's a Class 6 felony. This would be the less serious version variety of the Class 6 felony. Nevertheless, it's still punishable by imprisonment, has a much longer period of suspension, actually a revocation as a result of it for your driving privilege, and a host of other consequences that wouldn't happen. Now, if you had a minor who is 16 or 17 years old in the vehicle, that would make no difference whatsoever.
Okay. Next question we had is, I live out of state. Can you still defend me for a DUI?
Ryan, there are two considerations that we want to look at if somebody lives out of state and they're hiring us. The first is whether or not it's a felony. Felony, you're going to have to come to town. Now, we can likely make it so that you can travel in and out of Arizona and come just for court, but you're going to have to make your appearances. There's no superior court that I know of that'll let you not appear, at least some of the time. Sometimes we can waive your appearance and fight the case without you appearing. Now, misdemeanors, with the exception of very few courts around the area, are frequently permitting us to have clients not appear at all. What I mean when I say that is that they can hire us, we can get a warrant quashed, we can go to court for them, and frankly, they only need to appear if we get the case dismissed. I'm sorry, if we have an evidentiary hearing or a trial.
Okay. And the last question we had here for you was, this is probably a pretty common one you've got, but how much do you charge to defend a DUI?
Ryan, that depends on a number of factors, whether or not we hire an expert witness and whether or not we go to trial. Your typical DUI fees are going to begin at a $4,000 flat fee, inclusive of certain expert costs, but not all of them. They can go all the way up to $10,000 or $15,000 if there's an accident or it's a felony DUI. You really expect a flat rate somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000 if it's a first-time misdemeanor DUI. That's obviously subject to change, and each case is different. Sometimes we can do a little bit better, and sometimes for a variety of reasons we have to charge higher, that $6,000 range for the misdemeanors. Obviously, felonies are a different ballgame. People are looking at prison time, and things are just substantially more serious, so we charge a premium for that to take care of our clients.
Okay, all right, makes sense. With that said, that was the last question we have for today. If you're watching the video, as I mentioned, you can post some questions below. David's agreed to get back to you. Also, obviously, his contact information is in the comment section of this video. Feel free to reach out to him directly if you have any questions. And David, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for your time.